Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I'm talking about the new comics that I picked up on February 19th, 2020. I also wanted to talk briefly about a couple of the shows that I watched this week, the comic book related shows. And also big news, this happened actually on February 21st. I'm recording this the following Monday. I'm a little bit behind, and I realized, oh my gosh, there's so many other shows now that I want to podcast about. I need to get back on top of everything because The Walking Dead just came back. It's comic book related. Better Call Saul. I'm not going to do a podcast about that, but it is my favorite show probably ever, and that's all. That's kind of why I don't want to even to podcast about it at all, but I'll mention it here and there. I have not watched the new episode yet. I have not watched the new Walking Dead yet, but stay tuned for the Walking Dead episode. Mainly Walking Dead is back is the main thing, but big news on Friday. DC Entertainment's longtime co-publisher Dan DiDio has left his job. The latest significant change for the AT&T owned comic book powerhouse, the company said Friday. So this is from Los Angeles Times, article by Ryan Founder. So yeah, I read a separate article that was kind of the speculation of where Marvel's going to go from here, and all of that, and also speculation what the reasoning was for his departure, and then also the idea that DC, or rather AT&T, who owns Time Warner, owns it DC Comics, DC Entertainment in general, that there's a possibility that they might outsource the comic book wing of everything, and the company that they might outsource that to is Marvel Comics, which would be kind of crazy because I remember just a couple of years ago that Marvel was talking about, like, not doing comics anymore. Like, for both companies, the actual comics are the least the least profitable thing, less profitable than television, movies, and merchandise. Of course, merchandise. T-shirts alone, I bet, makes more profit than the actual comic books. But anyway, that's all. I don't really have any more information than that, and the information I have is all just speculation from that other article anyway. But how crazy would that be? It would be like Sonic the Hedgehog being on a Nintendo system. Like, it's still Sega, but it's not its own thing anymore, that kind of sort of thing. And then it's like a spoiler panel in that article. They had a panel at the end of Doomsday Clock, and that reminded me I need to read Doomsday Clock soon. So anyway, yeah, that'll be interesting. And then that kind of reading that article, they had mentioned bringing in TV writers to do the comics instead of comic book writers. And I don't know if that's kind of mean to the comic book writers. I mean, they do that a little bit here and there anyway, the J.J. Abrams Spider-Man and stuff like that, but to just like replace everybody. But one of the names that they brought up was Greg Berlanti, and I had no idea that his productions, like, as a producer, he has so many friggin' shows. I guess the previous record for producers, a number of producers' shows, like being on the air at the same time, or at least in the same year, was 9. 2 years ago, he hit 15 shows in 1 year. I had no idea. Some of the shows I didn't know were his. I just thought it was all Arrowverse, which it is. All of the Arrowverse shows, which is a ridiculous number of them. But also Titans, Doom Patrol, which are not technically part of the Arrowverse, but they were part. They were part of it. They are part of it now. But with the Crisis on Infinite Earths. But also all of the Riverdale and Sabrina and Katy Keene. And I checked out the first episode of Katy Keene. There's been 3 episodes so far, and it's pretty good. I don't think I'll keep watching it just because there's so much stuff to watch. But I mean, it was fun. It was a good for the kind of show that it is. I mean, it's not science fiction, it's not action, it's all that. It's about like young adult drama in the big city, that kind of stuff. So for it being that, I thought it was pretty good. That's not really the type of thing I usually watch, but so yeah, that's him too. And also You on Netflix, and then a couple other shows. It's like, I think it's 16 this year or something like that, not including all of the shows that might be starting in the spring, in the fall, including like Green Arrow and the Black Canaries, or Green Arrow and the Canaries, which I really hope is made. The new Superman, it's Superman and Lois, I think is what it's called. With the Supergirl version of Superman in there, that would be pretty interesting. And yeah, apparently, like, I really liked them, Superman and Lois in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and because I had not been caught up on all of the different shows, I didn't know that the Crisis is the most episodes that they're in. They were only in like a couple of episodes before that. So that was pretty cool, and I enjoyed their part in the Crisis, and I would totally watch that spinoff, and I will absolutely watch Arrow and the Canaries. I think I talked about watching the end of Arrow a couple of weeks ago. That reminds me, I caught up on, in addition to checking out Katy Keene, I also caught up on Supergirl. The latest episode had Thomas Lennon, who is so fun, one of the funniest actors like ever, and he's written so many movies that you probably had no idea that he wrote. All the Night at the Museum movies, that's him. And his writing partner, I forget his writing partner's name, but anyway, he always a lot of times has these like guest roles, and he appeared in the latest episode of Supergirl as Mitsapitalik or whatever his name. It's all spelled really weird, and then the only time I've heard it said out loud is in this episode, and they didn't say it enough. They just call him Mixie a lot of the time. But I really liked that episode. It was like a what if sort of thing, where he was sent on a task to right all of his wrongs. I had not seen the previous episode where this character appeared. Apparently, he was a different actor before, and so like that's a whole thing with it. Like, why do you look different now? That sort of thing. But Lion's so freaking funny. Like, how could it have ever been any other actor to play that character? I don't know, because he's like perfect for it. So anyway, I really enjoyed that episode, and I won't spoil why he's doing stuff or anything like that, because that's like the whole episode is very like what if time travel sort of thing, and yeah, it was really fun to watch. And that is, and then also the last TV show I want to talk about, I watched the last 2 episodes of Harley Quinn. And and I recommend watching those 2 episodes back to back. A bunch of the episodes are kind of standalone. They don't lead right into the other one, but there's stuff that happens in the second to last episode of the season that then goes right into the finale, and I thought it worked really well watching those back to back. And if you're hearing this, then it is available to watch back to back, because all of season 1 is now on DC Universe or on Netflix in outside of the United States, I think. I could technically check on that and see if that's true, but I saw somewhere that season 2 of Harley Quinn is gonna start in just a couple of months, in April. So that is super exciting. I'm pretty hyped for that. All right, so let's get into the comics that I picked up, tying into what I was already talking about. Actually, there's a bunch of stuff that ties into what I was talking about, but right off the bat, we've got Archie and Katy Keene number 2, which is Archie Comics number 711. This is the Slurpee episode. This is the Slurpee issue. That's weird. Anyway, yeah, I definitely need to catch up on everything, but having watched this episode now, it has me even more interested in what's going on with. Actually, I think I did read the first issue. Like she comes in, because I was worried that she was like he's breaking up with Sabrina or whatever, but that didn't seem the case, at least not yet. Now we see them on the cover here. He's in a closet with her, so that it might be pretty bad news for his other relationships. But jumping away from that stack, I'll talk about the Prestige format books that came out this week. We had Wonder Woman Dead Earth. I got both of the variant covers for that, where she's looking like super tough in both versions. We've got one, she's in the snow with the 2 of the people that she came across, about to fight a giant beast that were right down underneath its crotch, looking out from it. And then the other one is her just covered in blood, probably having returned from killing that beast. But then we also have Joker Killer Smile book 3. I think I'm going to read this right after I finish recording this episode, because I'm pretty sure I read book 2 also. All these Black Label Prestige formats, magazine size of the Joker stuff, Joker and Harley stuff, it's all good. Whether it's Joker, whether it's Harley, or it's Joker and Harley, all of them I've liked a lot. And then also trade paperback book 3 of 3, Superman Smashes the Klan. I really recommend this. I imagine they'll have a version that's all 3 together in the coming months. But yeah, it's inspired by the 1940s Superman radio serial Clan of the Fiery Cross. New York Times bestselling author Gene Luen Yang, who wrote American Born Chinese, Boxers and Saints, The Terrifics, and New Superman, concludes his personal retelling of the adventures of the Lee family as they team up with Superman to smash the Klan. So yeah, go check this out. All 3 books are available now. So, and I enjoyed all 3 of them, but I think I like this 3rd book the best. I mean, it does conclude the story and all of that, and that's always pretty satisfying. Well, hopefully that's satisfying. It's always nice when it is satisfying. That's what am I trying to say? I don't know. I'm recording this at 5 a.m. and I've been up all night basically, so I might be losing it a little bit. But anyway, back to the regular comics. We have Deceased Unkillables, issue number 1 of 3. I got all 3 of the main covers of this. I think there are even more variants in like the Virgin versions, and probably like a blank cover version. But I'm not sure what movie the movie poster one is a tribute to. It might be it. Yeah, it's definitely it. And then we've got is that Leviathan? They brought Leviathan over into this, but zombie Leviathan. And then we have Deadpool number 3. We've got Deadpool there hunting Kraven the Hunter, or I don't think it's Kraven anymore. It's like a descendant of Kraven. Anyway, where we last left off, Kraven had appeared to fight all of the monsters of Monster Island, only to find that Deadpool is the king of the Monster Island. I don't know if that's the right name for it. I think that's the name of the island. And so I think this issue is them fighting each other. We have Dollhouse Family 2. This Dollhouse Family issue 2. This did not come out this week, but I realized that I had missed issue number 2 and 3. Unfortunately, they had sold out of all their copies at my local shop, Hall of Justice Comics in Parker, Colorado. Check them out. Look them up online. They're great. But they were all out of issue number 3, so I ordered my own copy on eBay. So once that arrives in the coming week, I just got a notification a few hours ago that it was shipped. That I can read all, get caught up on that one. And I am waiting for to have everything before I read the end pages of Sea Dogs. I think I mentioned that like every time, but then we have Fantastic Four issue number 19, Point of Origin Conclusion. This is Legacy issue number 664. So in 2 issues, there better be something really cool planned for that. For the 666s. Then we have Flash Forward issue number 6 of 6. This is complete, so now I can sit down and watch and read all 6 of them and know what's going on, not forget from issue to issue. I'm excited for that. And that drops off of my subscription list. So that helps a little bit. It'll just be replaced by something else anyway. Ghost Spider issue number 7. I freaking love this cover. Who's the artist for this cover? It's just got this simple gradient background. There's no like landscape or anything behind her, and she's hanging upside down from one piece of webbing, and then she's got something hanging off to the bottom of the page on a separate piece of webbing. It's cool. Paul Pope and Bruno Seelig. Oh man. This cover is, I think this is my favorite Ghost Spider cover. It's awesome. She has really flexible shoes. Like they're flexing like ballet shoes. They're like bent at a 90-degree angle in the middle. It's a weird thing to comment on, I know. But if they're just regular tennis shoes, they wouldn't do that. So I think she's got special shoes. That's all I'm saying. Green Lantern season 2, issue 1. Kind of a hefty title there. That bulky, awkward. It's not really an awkward title. It's a clunky a little bit. Adding that season 2 in there I don't know. I think it kind of draws away from it a little bit. If it was instead, I don't know what a better title would be instead of that. S2, number 1. Maybe that. The Green Lantern 2, 1. I guess season 2 works. It's fine. Naomi season 2 must be coming pretty soon. Then we have Justice League issue number 41. Oh, that reminds me. Okay. So going back to the firing, it sounded like a potential reason for it would be the big plan for Generation 5, or whatever they're calling the next sort of reboot of stuff, like a refresh of all the characters, all that kind of thing. Personally, I don't think that's necessary at all. And then coming out of Dark Metal, I think, They had like these 5 brand new books of new characters, brand new heroes, all that kind of stuff. And none of that went anywhere. All that ended like pretty quick. I'm sure I didn't help by not getting any of those comics at all. But yeah, I think they've got to, like, the stuff. I feel like I don't know any of the sales figure or anything, so they must have a reasoning to try other stuff. But I feel like what they're doing, sticking with the characters they have right now, like they're getting some continuity, making sense of some things, and to just like completely redo that a bunch would just, I don't know. It always seems kind of unproductive when that happens. At first, maybe better in the long run. I don't know. Then we have Legion of Superheroes issue number 4. Got the variant for that. I like that style a lot. Most of these artists, I really like their styles. This next book. This segues better into what I wanted to tangent on anyway. Lola Woods, number 3. This cover, it looks kind of like a Jenny Frison cover. I'm going to check and see who is the variant cover artist. Yep, there we go. It is Jenny Frison. I'm not caught up in those books. So I don't know what the vial that this character is holding is, but I'm excited to find out when I do get there. So speaking of these horror books and horror type stuff, I've been trying to find an artist. I've asked a couple of different artists who has a style that would be super awesome to see this character in. And that is I want to get a drawing of Rose the Hat from Dr. Sleep, because she's super awesome. She's cooler than any. I've talked about this in my Dr. Sleep titled episode like last week or whatever. Rose the Hat, played by Rebecca Ferguson, is just so awesome. I like her more than anything in the entire movie of The Shining. He's super cool. But all the artists that I've asked about that I think would be like the most amazing depictions of her, they're either not doing commissions right now, or mainly that the 2 or 3 that I've asked so far. So I just might. I'm not good. The reason I want to get other people to draw human characters for me is because for decorating, just to have other artist stuff is awesome. But also, I don't feel like I'm very good at drawing humans or painting humans or any of that. But this might be a great starting point of just to go for it myself and just work at it, and then it'll be that much more satisfying. It's something that I really wanted to see that I've never seen any. I mean, the movie only came out a couple months ago, but I haven't seen any fan art of her at all. And I think if I was able to make something that I was really happy with, then other people who really like that character, I think, would really dig it too. So next up, we have Lucifer number 17. No idea what's going on in that book right now. Marauders number 8. The last time I checked, so I read like issue number 5, and it turned out that I had skipped number 4. So I kind of didn't know what was happening fully. And now that was the last time that I read an issue of this. But this cover with, I think that's Storm, and is it Emma Frost? I'm pretty sure that's the other character on there. But I like that cover. It's pretty cool. And then we have Middle West issue number 15. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind on this one. But this cover is super cool. We got the dark, stormy sea, and with the with characters there on the horizon. Right? It's probably not the ocean. It just looks like the ocean. It's raining a lot. It's maybe just a flood somewhere in the Middle West. And then we have Metal Men number 5. The first couple of issues that I have read have been really fun. And I don't remember if this is... because I have just the variant cover for it, and I remember this is a mini series or a macro series, whatever they call it, maxi series. I forget if it's 6 issues or... where's the copyright page? Come on, help me out here. Copyright page, but no spoilers. Copyright page, but no... okay, it's the last page, of course. It is... oh, it doesn't say out of any. So I don't know. It might just be an ongoing. Perhaps. Then we have Nightwing number 69 that I had to pick up just because it's number 69. I did not add this to my pull list subscription. I just picked up the one copy because I did the same for Batman. Whereas doing that for Wonder Woman and Harley and Flash, I actually subscribed starting with issue 69 or 68. In the case of Harley Quinn, I subscribed too early for that one. But I was still fine with that because number 68 was the Christmas special and it was really good. Then we have Plunge, the last of the Joe Hill House comics to begin. And this one has chapter 14 of Sea Dogs. But I don't know what Plunge is about, but this cover is super, super cool. It's got like a ship, a big cargo ship that's crashing into a bunch of writing. Somebody polluted the shore with writing that is hazardous in some way because we have people in hazmat suits trying to deal with it. But anyway, it's more of an abstract cover, and I really, really like that. Then, speaking of abstract covers, we've got Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, with Big Jim in big letters in the background as he's a gigantic man holding... who's he holding? He's holding somebody, and then the Jets are fighting. So he's dressed like Tarzan, but he's the size of King Kong. Lots of mixed things. And then the variant cover as him taking photos of butterflies with a gigantic gorilla behind him. So he's about to get either eaten or have some bugs eaten out of his hair. I'm not sure. It looks like it could go either way. Then we have Titans Burning Rage, number 7. I did not know that this was still going, but here we are. We got Starfire there on the cover, front and center, and then Robin. They all have swords for some reason. I don't know what's going. I haven't been reading this one. I should, like I should with everything, but I don't know why they have swords. I don't know if I've ever seen Robin with a sword and or a shield. It's kind of weird, but anyway. These ones, they're taken out from the Giants books, and all those stories seem like kind of out there and more weird, fantastical type stuff. Then we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 103. We got these ravenous rats. No, they're ferrets. These feral ferrets attacking the turtles. They look terrifying. But one of them looks real cute. The one on Raphael's shoulder, I don't think it's one of those things. I think that might actually be a bird. It has fingers, though. I don't know these animals. And then that brings us to Wonder Twins number 12. See You Next Series, they've written as though it's a yearbook on the cover. XOXO, Zan, and Jaina. So I think this concludes Wonder Twins for right now. But I'm happy to see that there'll be a next one. I hope that's what that means. All the Wonder comics have been just wonderful. And then last but not least, especially as far as page count goes, the 100-page Wonder Woman Giant number 3. Who are the characters that we see in here? We have Steve Trevor. We have Tulifar. We have Kilowog. We have Lady Mordial. We also featuring Green Lantern. And new Steve Trevor to the rescue. And training begins for the Green Lantern. We see her there with the what is the town called? But she's fighting some gorillas who are in their armor. One of them being Tulifar. And yeah, that's it. It's a pretty fun cover. But yeah, that's it. That's everything that I picked up this week. It's a lot. So much. Eventually I'll get to the point of cutting down in some way or another. But until then, I will continue to share with you each week what new comics that I've picked up, and hopefully some of them that I have actually read. I read a grand total of one of the comics that I picked up this week, which is pretty bad. I need to read a lot more than that. So stay tuned for Walking Dead, this week's episode of Walking Dead. I'm super excited for that. The first half of season 10 was just awesome, and I think the second season is going to continue that trend. And that's pretty much, and then all the usual stuff. Of course, Survivor and all of the wrestling. So let me know what you thought of all the comics that came out this week. Some of that comic news, some of the comic shows. Did you watch Supergirl and Harley Quinn and Katy Keene? Let me know what you thought about those by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe in iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe out there in all of the infinite multiverses, and I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.